Hey, distinction students, civic education with a perfect tooth. So we are looking at corruption now. It's a new topic, so you have to pay attention so that you understand. In this video, we are going to focus on the definition of corruption, the forms of corruption, and the categories of corruption. So what is corruption? This is very common nowadays. Corruption is the giving of money, valuables, or rendering a service to someone in return for a favor other than a casual gift. It's either you give money or just give any valuable item, or you render a service to someone in return for a favor other than a casual gift. So a casual gift is an ordinary gift offered to a person in a hospitable manner without any demand for a favor. You just give the person something. Oh, I've given you this. That's a casual gift. Now, when you demand for a favor because of that gift, then that is called corruption. That is corruption. Or you do a service for someone and then you demand for a favor in return, then that is corruption. Gratification means any means of corrupt payment. As long as it is corrupt payment, then that is gratification. So I hope you understand these three terms: corruption, casual gift, and gratification. Gratification, any form of corrupt payment. Let us look at the forms of corruption. Pay attention here. The forms of corruption. The first one is cash payment and receipt. This one involves giving money. It's cash here, giving money to someone in return for a favor. For example, a traffic officer impounds a bus on the road because it has no side mirror, and then he or she demands a 50 kwacha or 100 kwacha from the owner of the bus so that it may be released. That is corruption in form of cash payment and receipt. Kickback. This is a form of corruption that involves rendering a service to someone in return for a favor. For example, having sexual intercourse with the lecturers so that they can help you in an exam. That is corruption in form of kickback. You've rendered a service to someone so that they will give you a favor. Payment in kind. I want you to see the difference between kickback and payment in kind, because both involve rendering of services. It's rendering of service. Now, for kickback payment, you render a service before you are given the favor. But for payment in kind, you start by getting the favor, then you'll be required to give or to render a service. For example, demanding for sexual intercourse after offering employment. They give you employment, and then afterwards, no, should come home and do what? No, there's just something you have to come and check here. I'm your boss, you need to come. You go there, you render a service. That one is payment in kind. You've already received the job, then the person asks you for that favor. But for kickback payment, you start by giving that service, then you get the favor. So I hope you understand the difference now. Then loans and advances. This is corruption that involves any corrupt payment in form of loans or advances. Then commission. This one happens in awarding government contracts. There are 5 contractors, the government only needs 1. And the contract involves 100,000. Those people who will be awarding the contract will demand for commission from the contractors. You say, okay, if we give you this contract, how much are you going to give it from the 100,000? Okay, I'll give you 20. And they will offer that person the contract. So it is commission. These are the 5 forms of corruption that we have: cash payment and receipt, kickback, payment in kind. Note the difference between kickback and payment in kind. They both involve services. Then we have loan advances. Then we have commission. Please do not confuse the categories of corruption with the forms. We only have 3 categories of corruption: petty corruption, grand corruption, and political corruption. Petty corruption, this is the type of corruption that involves small amounts, and it is widely practiced in Zambia. It is widely practiced in Zambia. It involves small amounts. The small amounts are called bribes. For example, giving a 2 kwacha to the class monitor so as not to write you among the noisemakers. You are making noise. That's petty corruption. So even the pupils in schools do not know that they practice corruption, just on a small scale. Grand corruption. This one involves large amounts of money. For example, giving a 10,000 kwacha to the Debs so that I am appointed as head teacher for a certain school. The third one is political corruption. So political corruption is practiced by those contesting for political power. For example, the presidents, the MPs, the councillors, and others. Examples may include giving money or materials to voters in order to influence their choice. Providing services such as electricity during elections. Political corruption. Let us look at the causes of corruption. The causes of corruption. So the causes of corruption are grouped into 3 classes. We have social causes, economic causes, and other causes. So let us start with the social causes of corruption. 1. Personal, greedy, and dishonest. Some people are just greedy. They want everything to be theirs. They are just dishonest. Leaders in important positions lack moral standards. Weak enforcement or absence of code of conduct. The code of conduct, we're talking about the constitution here. Are you enforcing the laws that talk about corruption? Are you enforcing them? Weak punishment for offenders. Large numbers of people competing for insufficient services. Insufficient services. For example, you are all looking for school places, and then there are just few spaces available there. So you'll be forced, like, I want my child to be in school. What do? You bribe the head teacher, and then you do as wise. That's how it is. So large number of people competing for insufficient services causes corruption. These are the social causes of corruption. Let us look at the economic causes. The economic causes of corruption. 1. Shortage of goods and services. Unequal distribution of wealth and resources. Awarding of government loans to some preferred individuals at the exclusion of others. Low salaries and wages. Poverty leads to corruption. How can poverty bring about corruption? Someone may ask, how can a person who is poor involve him or herself in corruption? See, when you hear the word corruption, don't think about giving money. We said it's the giving of money, valuable, or rendering a service. So these are the economic causes of corruption. Next, we are going to look at the other causes of corruption. See you in the next video.